Why is everybody leaving Florida? Leaving Florida, leaving Florida, leaving Florida, leaving Florida, leaving Florida. I'm leaving Florida. I'm moving away from Florida. Leaving Florida, leaving Florida, leaving Florida, leaving Florida, leaving Florida. I'm leaving Florida. I'm moving away from Florida. I'm leaving Florida. I'm pretty sure I can tell you one of the reasons why. There we go. Never fails. Condensation, or the byproduct of humidity. I literally just walked out the building and of my apartment complex here in Florida, and you can see what just happened to my sunglasses. And don't take a laptop outside or any other piece of technology or expensive electronic, because basically it's going to get saturated in this moisture from all the humidity. So essentially my sunglasses are useless right now until I can get somewhere to dry them off. And this is, again, one of the reasons why I choose to record using my Samsung Galaxy S23 Ultra, is for that very reason, because it doesn't suffer the same fate as other tech when it comes to the moisture in the air from all the humidity and high heat here in Florida. Although we have all experienced the videos of mine where they just end abruptly. Why? Because my phone got too hot in the summer sun at temperatures where they say it's gonna be 98 degrees, but it's gonna feel like 115. So in those days when I decided to use a different camera, especially a traditional DSLR or a mirrorless DSLR, any camera with a lens that's not my smartphone, then I end up getting condensation inside the lens. And for all my videographers out there, you guys know the struggle. It takes hours for that problem to be solved and cured. So I've resorted to just using my Samsung S23 Ultra to record these videos. GoPro could be an option, but again, with the high heat, direct sunlight, the GoPro at 4K is limited to roughly about 10 to 12 minutes of record time. Now, I would say that it is highly unlikely that everyone's leaving Florida. Actually, let me just leave it at that. It's highly unlikely that everyone's leaving Florida, because we know they're not. We know as people leave Florida, and other states for that matter, others move to Florida or other states for that matter. I mean, we've seen this before. People leaving California by the truckloads. There was a point in time where, you guys may remember, it was impossible to book a moving company because all of their trucks were busy in California, moving people to Texas, moving people to Nevada, oddly moving people to Oregon and Washington. But yeah, I can't say that every decision and every choice that everybody makes is sound and wise and just, but at the end of the day, that was a thing. People were leaving California, and as they were leaving California, guess what? Other people were moving to California. So I'm not going to sit here and pretend and isolate the situation like everybody's leaving Florida, because they're not. People are leaving Florida. People are moving to Florida. People are leaving other states and moving to other states. But I do want to talk about the reasons why people might want to consider leaving Florida or are actually leaving Florida, and more importantly, why we would leave Florida. I mean, here's that condensation situation I was telling you guys about. Look at this. You can't even see inside the door. This is just something you have to get used to living in Florida, because condensation as a result of humidity is a thing. But hey, blue skies, palm trees, warm weather, sometimes extremely hot weather, beaches, outdoor activities. These are the perks of living in Florida. Not to mention no state income tax. That's a huge bonus too. Now, if you ask my wife, the Florida resident discount for Disney is another perk, but we'll talk about that in another video. Leaving Florida. Why are so many people leaving Florida? Well, let's address the elephant in the room. Yes, you all know who I'm talking about. No, don't be silly. I'm not talking about him. I'm talking about Jake. Jake from State Farm. And actually, Jake from State Farm is actually the only one moving to Florida, because State Farm is the insurance company that is most likely to provide and write policy and provide coverage for homeowners in the state of Florida. Now, granted, this isn't a real concern of mine right now because we are renting in an apartment. However, we are still shopping to buy a home or condo. Odds are it's going to be a home. Single family detached home, maybe townhouse, but odds are we're going to go single family detached. And with that comes homeowners insurance, unless we decide that we want to buy the property outright and then self-insure, which can have its own challenges and consequences. Real estate agents are also feeling the squeeze and feeling the pinch because a lot of their clients, buyers and sellers, are included in the buyer category because oftentimes properties have contingencies that they will close in a sale upon the contingency of the seller being able to buy another property. However, with the challenges that are now becoming more and more difficult to overcome in the form of homeowners insurance, it's making it more difficult for sellers to be buyers because insurance is unavailable or just too expensive, thus kicking them out of contingency and being unapproved for their clear to close for their new mortgage through underwriting because the insurance premium has kicked their mortgage payment up so high, as it includes principals, taxes, PMI, interest, and insurance in the escrow payment. It kicks it up so high they're out of their budget, and then they have to either find a way to get more money to put more cash down to lower their monthly payment, find a cheaper home, renegotiate the deal, or just walk away from it altogether. And I know many real estate professionals in the state of Florida who are actually considering leaving Florida themselves to do what they do as real estate professionals in another state, which creates its own challenges because, in my opinion, the fact that you live in a certain area or have lived there for so long and you know the area, you know the people, makes it that much easier and better to be that good at your job as being a real estate professional and helping others conduct transactions in real estate, buying and selling property. However, when you're backed up between a rock and a hard place, you have to make a decision. You have to make that tough call. And a lot of people have made that decision and tough call to uproot their families, pack up everything and leave. Why? Because of the overall insanely high cost of living that some just can't bear. Why? Because of money, because of inflation, because of the recession, because of falling stock markets and depreciating values in 401k investment portfolios and retirement plans. Those who are actually retired over the age of 62, collecting Social Security, unable to keep up with the cost of living despite the relatively high cost of living adjustment or COLA increase that was seen at the beginning of 2023, with expectations of the 2024 cost of living adjustment COLA decrease being less than 50% of what it was to begin this year. And we all know prices are not less than 50% of what they were, and they're not going to be that way next year. So how are people going to be able to afford to maintain this lifestyle in this state with less money? Just not really possible. Farmers has been one of the biggest names in insurance that has left Florida. And this is not just Florida, folks. We're going to talk about the rest of the country, but Florida in particular is seeing a huge hurdle, a huge mountain to climb that seemingly has no real solution to the problem right now in the form of insurance. This is homeowners insurance. This is primarily associated with hurricanes that we've seen here recently, the increased replacement costs, cost to rebuild, flood insurance problems, yellow jackets. Don't get stung by that. Some homeowners insurance fraud and abuse of policy premium claims and supplements, and how much money these insurance companies have been shelling out while continuously losing on their bottom. What the hell? I gotta get out of here. I don't want to get stung. Losing on their bottom end or balance sheet, experiencing red in their ledger on their P&Ls because not only are they paying out these ridiculously high replacement costs on these insurance claims, but they are also losing their ass when it comes to their investments in the stock market, some risks that they took in crypto and other ventures. Meanwhile, other investors in their companies have pulled out for various reasons, but ultimately the money is drying up. This liquidity crisis, this insolvency nightmare is hitting the insurance companies, and it's hitting the homeowners, and it's hitting the real estate market, and it's hitting the jobs market, and it's hitting everything else because, like I said before, our economy, our lives, our country is all interconnected and intertwined some way, somehow, shape, or form. Not to mention legislation and government and politics and leadership for the state of Florida that may or may not necessarily be doing all the things that everybody would like to see Florida doing, some of which is driving people out of the state. But again, it's not just Florida. This is happening all across the country, all around the world. People are leaving and crossing oceans to relocate to a completely different country to try and find the best balance for their lives, to find the sweet spot where they're going to have a high quality of life and relatively high level of income and an affordable cost of living where it all balances together while still maintaining a relatively safe environment and potentially a great opportunity for education for their children if they haven't. And with the recent changes to insurance, particularly homeowners insurance, the expectation of changes coming to all insurance, renters insurance, car insurance, RV camper insurance, health insurance, what it looks like is that we're going to continuously see a trajectory of an upward trend of just higher costs and unaffordability for the average person, for most people. So what does this do? It changes the landscape. It changes the climate. It changes everything. This may be worse than the pandemic as we are post-pandemic recovery mode and only actually getting worse than things were before, which is sad. Which is why I think so many people have been reaching out to me here recently, joining as members on the channel, on Patreon, connecting to try and find ways that they can make more money, increase their income, diversify their income, multiply their income streams, create side hustle opportunities, develop passive income streams, invest in dividend paying stocks for added passive income coming in while reducing their expenses, tightening up their budgets, getting out of debt, and trying to build a savings and investment plan and strategy because they know the writing is on the wall. If you're going to talk about being prepared, this is the preparation that you're going to have because people are being priced out of their homes. They're being priced out of their jobs. Think about it. I make $20 an hour. I make $25 an hour. I make $30 an hour, and I'm still homeless. I can't afford to have a place to stay. People are being priced out of their jobs. For instance, Key West, Florida. It has become so expensive in Key West that the workers can no longer work there because they can't afford to live there, and the commute by way of which however far they could find to live to get to work is just too great and too expensive, and it's just not worth it. So as a Shark Tank investor would say, for those reasons, I'm out. And this problem's only getting worse, unfortunately. So the only thing that we really can do to get better prepared is to pay attention to what's happening, pay attention to what's coming, and prepare ourselves mentally, physically, spiritually, emotionally, and financially. Because gas is going back up, food prices are still high, not to mention energy and food are two basic necessities, simple commodities that do not fall into the calculation of inflation and CPI reports that the Fed takes into consideration for interest rate hikes. Oh yeah, by the way, interest rates hikes are still going up, by the way. So we're not out of the woods there yet. That means everything that you buy, everything that you charge, everything that you finance and borrow money for, every loan is going to cost you more to repay. Oh yeah, by the way, you're not making any more money instantaneously. The businesses and corporations are being forced out of the state, and with that, they are putting the squeeze on their employees and pretty much doing exactly what I said they would do, which is regaining control as the employer and basically how much they're going to pay in compensation because they know they have the upper hand now, opposed to there was a time where everyone would work from home or sit on the couch and collect a stimulus check and insanely high unemployment benefits with boosts to unemployment, which was ultimately paying them more to not go to work than it would have to go to work. And that ship has sailed. And these all add up to the reasons why so many people are leaving Florida. All right, guys. Now, I'm just going to ask you, if you find this information helpful, valuable in any way, and would like to continue these conversations, do me a favor. Come wipe down these doors so I can see through them next time. But I'm just playing. No, seriously, do me a favor and just go ahead and smash that like button, okay? That helps out tremendously. And while you're at it, if you haven't done so already, subscribe to the channel. Share this video. There's a little link below the video screen. down there, share this video with other people so that they too can have this information. We can develop this dialogue and this conversation and expand the talk and understanding behind why so many are being forced to leave. But again, it's not just Florida. It's not just Florida. People are leaving different states for different reasons: political, financial, safety, quality of life, job related. A lot of folks are actually moving back to California, believe it or not. And this is despite the numbers coming in from the latest Census Bureau collection of data that hundreds of thousands of people are moving to California. These are migrants, but people are in fact moving back to California, and they're moving back to a lot of states that they left previously. Why? Because they are now being forced to go back into work. And when you're forced to go back into work, that means you can't work anywhere remotely, which is what we do. We work remote. If you followed us this summer, then you know we traveled the country and into Canada, all working remote, maintaining our income, if not actually increasing our income along the way, working remote. There were a few hairy spots where we lost 5G and we were down to 4G, LTE, or worse, 4G, or even suffered the fate of some hotels' dangerously slow Wi-Fi. But regardless, we pulled through, we made it, and here we are today. Now, we have so much more that we need to talk about and discuss behind the reasoning behind why so many people are leaving Florida or would be leaving Florida. Not to mention, this was the state that everybody migrated to when, you remember, the mask mandates, the jab mandates, the social distancing mandates. The state was open for business, ladies and gentlemen. The beaches were packed, wild and free. Everybody loved it. Now, not so much. Now the water is too hot. Now the temperature is too hot. Now the governor is too hot. Now there's too many sharks in the water, or there's too many bears in the water, or there's too much poop in the water. It's never ending. And now people are going to find the higher ground and try to find a new place to relocate to outside of Florida, like this guy here. Sweet R8. And he actually bought that from Atlanta. But either way, are we leaving Florida? Well, that is the $1 million question, because we like it here in Florida. Sorry about that, guys. That was another one of those instances where I ran out of damn memory on my phone. I had to clear some of these videos off and make space. But yeah, to answer the question, we really do like it here. We have enjoyed our time here. We would love to stay here, but there are a variety of factors that are preventing us from really setting our roots here and being able to purchase property and call this our, in fact, forever home. Follow us in that journey. To be continued. Lots going on here. Developments happening every single day. And in fact, we need to talk to you guys about a town hall meeting that just occurred here recently, where the Biden administration has come in and tried to exert their force and power and oversight over our own very own waters here to destroy businesses, destroy people's livelihood and their income and their lives and their families in the process. So we got a lot to cover here. Maybe we stay just because of that. Maybe we stay just to fight back. But at the end of the day, we will have to make a choice. And so will so many others. But hopefully the choice that we make is, in fact, the best choice for us, our family, our future, and better preparing us for the new challenges that we will face tomorrow. If you made it this far in the video, again, please smash that like button. Consider subscribing. Please share this with friends and family, or just strangers on the street. Say, hey, have you seen Kevin's latest video? And until next time, you guys take care. Be safe. I'll see you real soon. Bye.